4-Minute Friday. I want to talk about the right time to put your animals out to pasture. When I put my animals out in the spring, I like to wait until the grass has gotten a chance to get 5 or 6 inches tall. With sheep, you don't want to put them out too late because the grass will get ahead of them and they won't eat it. They'll just trample everything. A lot of times the animals will go out and gorge themselves on the fresh grass, and then they'll blow or they'll give themselves the scoots. Now, if you've been on hay all winter and then they change their diet rapidly to fresh grass, their stomachs aren't accustomed to the change. What I usually do before I put my animals out is I give them breakfast of hay and their grain if they get grain, and then late to mid-morning put them out for a little bit and then bring them back in, and they'll be reluctant to come back in because they like it, but it's very important not to give them too much at once because you and they will both regret it. One thing to be cognizant of as well is too many legumes. That can cause bloat and a host of other problems. In the springtime, all the protozoa and worms, nematodes, etc., they're all present on the grass and they're easily ingested by the sheep. So in the springtime, you want to keep a good eye on them. Coccidia is also prevalent, but I keep an eye open for signs of worms. And you can tell by looking at their eyelids. If it's super pale, you just kind of pull down a little bit and look, and it should be pink. If it's pale, that's a good sign that they have worms and should be treated. I always drench my sheep for worms, and we can do that in a different video. But primarily today, I just want to talk to you about introducing your sheep slowly to fresh grass and what to avoid and what to look forward to when you put them out. If you start to run into trouble where your sheep bloat up and they get the scoots a little bit, get them off the grass, bring them back in, and give them more hay. Typically the hay will bind them up. If you start finding that the stool is super loose and the hay is not working, particularly if the manure has a foul smell, it doesn't smell like manure, that's a good indication of coccidia. And then you need to treat that with Amprin. You want to treat that as soon as possible. It's always a good idea to seek veterinary advice if the situation becomes dire. But in summary, wait till the grass is about 5 or 6 inches tall, but not to a seed head because they'll just trample it and waste it. Introduce them slowly, give them breakfast of hay, let them go out mid-morning for a couple hours at first, and introduce them gradually to fresh hay. If you see signs of worms, treat it as it occurs. Don't blanket treat your animals for worms. Seek veterinary advice immediately if the situation becomes dire where they're just running right out the back end. Generally, you won't run into any issues at all. We never have issues. Like I said, we just put them out gradually and everything works out just fine. This video has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching again.